Welcome to the deep dive. So, you often hear about these big climate agreements, right? But how do they actually, translate into real laws on the ground?
Exactly. It's a huge question.
Well, today we're digging into an organization that's tackling exactly that in Africa. It's the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support, AGNS.
That's right, AGS. They started back in 2015. Their main job providing the solid science, the evidence that African nations need for climate negotiations. And they have this really clear vision, a climate-resilient world.
And a mission to back it up. Basically, building this global community focused on welfare and evidence-based climate action. They've got several work streams, different areas they focus on.
But today we're zooming in on one specific and I think pretty crucial work, streaming parliaments. Because that's where policy meets action, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about bridging that gap. You can have great science, great negotiation positions, but if parliaments can't turn it into law and oversee it, it stalls. This work stream is designed to prevent that. Okay, so it's not just one single thing they're doing. You mentioned it's a whole program.
Yeah, think of it as like 4 key pillars or interventions working together. It's a structured approach to really empower parliaments on climate change.
All right, break it down for us. What are these 4 pillars?
Okay, first, they're supporting the African Network of Parliamentarians on Climate Change, the ANPCC. Think of that as the platform, the collective voice.
Got it. Seems interesting.
Second, developing the Model Climate Change Law Framework for Africa, the MCCL. That's the blueprint, essentially.
The blueprint. Okay.
Third, creating a climate change monitoring and accountability tool, the CMAT. That's how they track progress, the dashboard, if you like.
Right? The accountability piece.
And finally, number 4, rolling out a training curriculum for parliamentarians and their staff. You need people who know how to use these tools.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's start with the network, the ANPCC. You said it's the voice. When did this actually get set up?
It's quite recent, formally established in September 2024. It came out of the Abidjan Declaration during the special session of AGNES, the African Ministerial Conference on the Environment.
And AGNES's role here? Are they running it?
Not running it, but supporting it, helping with the governing documents, making sure these parliamentarians can actually get to key events. The big climate conference and the second Africa Climate Summit.
Why is having this network so important for AGNES's values?
Well, it directly links to their values of integrity, building trust through responsible policy, and difference. This network ensures diverse African voices, different national contexts are actually part of the conversation. It's not just top-down. It's peer learning, and AMISN has recognized its importance too.
Okay, so the network connects the people. What about the model law? The MCCL, crafting a framework that could work across what? 54 different countries sounds incredibly challenging.
It is, and that's why it's a framework, not a rigid law. It was actually requested by the NPCC in that Abidjan Declaration. AGNES facilitated its development, bringing together MPs, lawyers, experts, civil society, even the private sector.
So, it was a collaborative effort.
Very much so. They looked at best practices from everywhere and created this flexible guide. It's ready now, and countries can take it and adapt it to fit their own constitutions, their own legal systems. It builds that integrity by being inclusive and transparent from the start.
Right? So, you have the network, you have the framework law. Now, how do you make sure it's actually working? That brings us to the monitoring tool, the CMAT.
Why was this needed? Weren't there tools already?
There were other tools, but they were often fragmented, maybe too academic, not really designed for the specific parliamentary roles. Oversight. So AGNES co-created the CMAT with parliamentarians and their staff.
Ah, so they asked them what they needed.
Exactly. They worked directly with teams in Kenya, Nigeria, Zambia, Kivu, in. The tool is designed to give them the specific data points they need to effectively monitor climate action and hold governments accountable. This is a perfect example of AGNES's value of evidence in action, giving lawmakers the data to do their jobs. Okay, this whole structure sounds really robust. The network, the law framework, the monitoring tool, but it all hinges on people actually being able to use it, right? That fourth pillar, the training.
Precisely. You can build the best car, but if no one knows how to drive, that's there. They found during consultations that capacity, understanding the technical climate stuff and how it connects to legislative work, was often limited.
So, the training tackles that directly.
Yes. The curriculum was specifically developed to boost that technical capacity for both the parliamentarians and their support staff, making sure it aligns with their actual mandate.
And when you put all four of these together,
you see how they really work as a system. It's about driving impactful results. That's another core AGNES value. It's not just talk. It's creating the structures and skills needed for real transformative climate action that contributes to sustainable development across the continent.
So what's next for this workstream? Are they extending it?
Yeah, the plan is definitely to strengthen those AMPCC chapters at the regional and national levels. Keep building that network, and crucially making sure African MPs continue to have a strong informed voice at global events like the upcoming COP30 in Brazil.
It really feels like they've thought through the whole legislative pipeline, from networking to drafting laws to monitoring them.
They have, which leads to a really interesting thought, something for you listening to consider. AGNES's vision is a climate-resilient world. If this CMAT tool gets widely adopted, and suddenly parliaments have undeniable data on climate action or inaction, what new forms of accountability might emerge? Could it force a whole new level of legislative engagement simply because the evidence is right there, unavoidable?
That's a powerful question. The potential for data-driven accountability in climate governance. Definitely something to watch. Linking the science directly to the lawmakers. Fascinating stuff.
It really is. All right, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.